dinner for visiting heads of state and government at Hotel Shangri, LA in Bangkok this evening. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and heads of state and government from all BIMSTEC member states participated in this official dinner. Professor Yunus exchanged greetings with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra and other heads of state and summit leaders. Thai Prime Minister also hosted cultural event in honor of visiting BIMSTEC summit leaders. The cultural event showcased culture and heritage of Thailand. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi enjoyed the cultural event sitting next to each other. An agreement has been signed to maritime transport cooperation among BIMSTEC member states. The foreign ministers of the member states signed the agreement on behalf of the respective countries. The agreement was signed ahead of the 20th ministerial meeting at a hotel in Bangkok. Foreign Affairs Advisor Mohammad Tauhid Hassan attended the meeting on behalf of Bangladesh. The foreign advisor highlighted Bangladesh's commitment to ensure collective peace, progress and prosperity through a common BIMSTEC approach. He also put emphasis on creating a conducive environment for the Rohingya issue and their repatriation. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus has expressed strong hope that there would be a positive progress in resolving the tariff issue through talks with the U.S. government. Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam said, quoting Professor Yunus as saying, talking to BTV News in Bangkok about a 37% tariff of the U.S. on Bangladeshi products, Shafiqul Alam said the whole issue is still at the early stages of discussion. He said the interim government hopes that it would be able to move toward a solution that would be a win-win situation for both the countries.
BIMSTEC তো আপনি জানেন একটা বে অফ বেঙ্গলকে ঘিরে একটা যে রিজিওনাল একটা গ্রুপ এবং এই গ্রুপের যথেষ্ট পটেনশিয়াল আছে কিন্তু যেটা হলো যে মোর দ্যান 2 ডিকেডস এর পরেও সেই পটেনশিয়ালটা আমরা আসলে অ্যাচিভ করতে পারিনি বা এটা আমরা যেটা অন্যান্য আসিয়ানের ক্ষেত্রে যেটা দেখা গেছে তো প্রফেসর ইউনুস এটা লিডারশিপটা অ্যাজিউম করার পরেই উনি আরো এটার উপরে আরো জোরদার দিবেন উনি কিন্তু বারবার বলছেন উনি ইন্টারিম গভর্নমেন্টের প্রধান হওয়ার পরে থেকে বলছেন যে আমাদের আশেপাশে যে রিজিওনাল যে গ্রুপ আছে সার্ক আছে বিমস্টেক আছে এগুলোকে যে করেই হোক রিভাইভ করতে হবে এবং রিভাইটালাইজ করতে হবে যাতে করে বাংলাদেশ তার কথাগুলো বাংলাদেশের এই রিজিওনাল কোঅপারেশনের ফ্রেমওয়ার্কে যাতে তার কথাগুলো সবাইকে বলতে পারে তাদের সাথে আরো ট্রেড এবং ইনভেস্টমেন্ট এবং অন্যান্য যে পিপল টু পিপল কোঅপারেশনগুলো যেন আরো সুদৃঢ় হয় তো এই জায়গায় প্রফেসর ইউনুস খুবই মানে সুস্পষ্ট ওনার একটা পলিসি আছে বিগিনিং অফ কনভারসেশন ইউএস এর তরফ থেকে তো আর আমরা এটা যাচাই বাছাই করছি এবং সেই অনুযায়ী এমন আমরা মুভগুলো নিচ্ছি যেটার কারণে আমাদের সাথে ইউএস এর আমরা মনে করি যে সামনে সুসম্পর্ক আরো দৃঢ় হবে এবং এমন একটা আমরা এই বিষয়টা নিয়ে আমাদের কথাবার্তা বা আমরা তাদের সাথে এমন একটা সলিউশনে যাব যেটা দুই পক্ষের জন্যই উইন উইন হয় উই আর স্টাডিং ইট সিন্স ইট ইজ নেগোশিয়েবল উই উইল নেগোশিয়েট অ্যান্ড আই এম শিওর উই ক্যান ড্রাফট আউট the best deal তো এটা আরো সামনে একটা ফ্রেমওয়ার্ক দাঁড়াবে তারপরে আমরা এটাদের সাথে কথা বলবো বাট আমরা উই আর ইন টাচ উইথ দ্য ইউএস অথরিটিস আমরা আশাবাদী এমন যাই হবে সেটা আমাদের দুই পক্ষের জন্যই এটা মঙ্গলজনক হবে
Today is the 4th day of the Eid al-Fitr holiday. During the long holiday of Eid al-Fitr, everyone is spending the time with relatives, friends and acquaintances. Children and teenagers are running to various entertainment centers, including children's parks, zoos, etc. Tourist centers across the country are overflowing with crowds during Eid holidays. This is the first time that the employees are enjoying a 9-day long holiday on Eid al-Fitr. As a result, a different dimension has been added to this year's celebration. During this long holiday, everyone can roam around as they wish. You can also take care of the accumulated family work. The festive mood of Eid is still prevailing across the country. In Dhaka, residents always look for opportunities to find some relief in their busy life. This year is no exception. On the fourth day of the long Eid ul-Fitr holidays, various entertainment centers in the capital are bustling with visitors. Beside amusement spots, many people are also crowding historical sites in Dhaka with their families. People are gathering to Bahadur Shah Park and Lal Bagh Fort in Old Dhaka to know the past history of Bengal. Popular tourist site Lal Bagh Fort was crowded with people of all ages from outside the city as well. In the morning, there was a moderate queue at the entrance of Lal Bagh Fort, but as the day progressed, it grew longer. Many parents have brought their children at Lal Bagh Fort to let them witness historical landmark firsthand. This historic site has also attracted foreign tourists as well. Many visitors have also demanded for the site to be more aesthetically pleasing. Meanwhile, Bahadur Shah Park has also become a relaxation spot for entertainment lovers. Some are sitting under the cool shade while others are running around and playing. Many demanded to introduce the new generation about these heritage sites in Dhaka. Entertainment lovers said that they visit historical sites to experience a touch of nature and bring joy to children. On the fourth day of Eid, the entertainment centers of the capital are crowded with visitors. Many people come to visit Mirpur Zoo today with their families. Some come with friends. Children are a large part of the overflow of visitors. Although the sun is a little high today, the visitors are walking around the zoo with the joy of the mind, ignoring it. From 9 o'clock in the morning, people flocked to the National Zoo in the capital. Children make up a large part of these visitors. It is a great pleasure for children who come with their parents. There was a crowd of visitors in front of the cage of each animal, starting from the monkey cage at the first entrance of the zoo. Children were excited to see the animals seen in the pages of the book, including tigers, lions, deer, birds, and porcupines. Parents were also happy to bring their children to the zoo, ignoring the sunshine. Many people came from far and wide to meet the expectations of the child. When the sun is high in the afternoon, when tired of wandering, rest in the shade of the tree, visitors again take a break to see the animals in different cages. The zoo authorities have the capacity to handle the pressure of 1.5 lakh visitors every day. As the Eid holiday came to an end, many working people have started returning to Dhaka. On the other hand, those who could not travel earlier due to work are now heading to their hometowns and villages. All of the capital's entrances are still experiencing a rush today. Since this morning, people returning to Dhaka have been seen at key entry points such as Komlapur, Gulistan, Jatrabari and Saidabad. At the same time, many are still leaving the capital. This trend is expected to continue for the next few days. Most of the people are leaving Dhaka through Komlapur railway station. Since the morning, 16 intercity trains have departed from Komlapur towards various destinations along with 4 local trains. Returning travelers said that this year's Eid journey has been more comfortable compared to previous years. Home Advisor Lieutenant General retired Jahangir Alam Chaudhary has said strict instructions have been given to the law enforcement agencies and administration to curb extortion and arms trading in the Chittagong Hill Tracts. He stated this to the newsman at the local BGB sector after visiting Baghaihat and Sajek this noon. The advisor urged the Director General of the Fire Service to keep a fire vehicle on temporary basis at Sajek. During the visit, the Home Advisor went round different installations of BGB and inquired about the welfare of the soldiers. He visited Rangamati BGB Sector 2. At this time, the advisor also called upon all to unitedly work to ensure development of the hills. The National Consensus Commission is negotiating with political parties for reforms in various areas to implement the aspirations of the July uprising. So far, 22 political parties have expressed their views. The Consensus Commission says it is satisfied with the way the dialogue has started and it is possible to formulate the July Charter within the stipulated time. Analysts say that although there are differences in different areas, it is important for political parties to agree to fulfill the aspirations of the people. The National Consensus Commission has submitted 166 recommendations of the Constitution, Election System, Anti-Corruption, Judiciary and the Public Administration Reforms Commission in the form of a spreadsheet and sought opinions from the political parties. A total of 38 parties have been invited by the Consensus Commission to give their opinions. So far, 22 parties have given their opinions. The rest will give their opinion after Eid. The Consensus Commission has already held dialogues with 4 political parties. However, there are disagreements among the political parties who have expressed their opinion in the Consensus Commission. The BNP is against the Constituent Assembly elections. Jamaat-e-Islami wants a proportional election. The Jatiyo Nagarik Party NCP wants the Constituent Assembly elections to be rewritten in the Constitution. The BNP, however, agreed with the recommendation of the bicameral parliament. However, the party thinks that how the members of the upper house will be nominated can be decided by discussing later. Basically, there is a difference of opinion among the political parties in the reforms that require constitutional changes, including constitutional reform. There is not much difference of opinion that other reforms can be made by this government through ordinances. Almost everyone agrees on the reforms that are needed for a fair election. However, the Consensus Commission says the July Charter will be formulated on the basis of the consensus of the political parties on reforms. The Commission will take initiatives to implement the reform proposals that can be implemented before the election on the basis of consensus. Now we're moving on to a break.
Ma, ক্ষুধা লাগছে, খাইতে দাও। টেবিলে খাবার রাখা আছে, খায় নে। মা, আমি এই খাবার খাবো না। কেন? তাইলে গন্ধ? গন্ধ হইব কেন?
কি হইছে? লক্ষ্মী মায়ের ধমকাইতেছো কেন?
লক্ষ্মী না চাই। প্রত্যেক বেলা খাবার নিয়ে ঝামেলা করে। কথাটা ঠিক না। আমি কইছি পচাবাসি খাবার আমি খাবো না। ভাইজান কি করমু কও? প্রত্যেক বেলা নতুন নতুন রান্নার সময় কই। তাই এক বেলা রাঁধি 2 বেলা খাই।
একবার রান্না করে 2 বেলা খাইতেই পারো, কিন্তু রান্না করা খাবার ভালোভাবে সংরক্ষণ করে খাইতে হইবে।
সেটা আবার কেমনে?
রান্না করা খাবার স্বাভাবিক তাপমাত্রায় 2 ঘন্টার বেশি রাখা যাইবো না। 2 ঘন্টার বেশি রান্না করা খাবার খাওয়ার আগে আবার ভালো কইরা গরম করে নিতে হইব।
মামা, তুমি মাইরে কও। তোমার পরামর্শ মাইনা চলতে। ঠিক আছে রে মা, আর কইতে হইব না।
পচাবাসি খাবার খেলে অসুখ হবে সবাই বলে। সুস্থ দেহ যদি চাই টাটকা খাবার সদাই খাই।
Now moving on to some international news. Donald Trump's decision to impose new tariffs on all goods entering the U.S. is a major blow to the world economy, European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen has said. Her comments echo those of a number of other countries, including China, which has expressed its opposition to the move and has warned it will take resolute countermeasures against the U.S. Their words of warning come after the U.S. President announced a universal 10% tariff on all imports into the U.S. from 5th of April. Around 60 countries will also be hit with steeper tariffs from 9th of April. Trump said the measures were payback for unfair trade policies, adding that he had been very kind in his decisions. Trump has said the tariff will be used as payback and to boost U.S. manufacturing, saying on Wednesday that the move would make America wealthy again. The EC chief vowed Europe would take a unified approach and warned that the European Union, which will be a subject to a 20% tariff, is preparing countermeasures in case negotiations fail. Italy's Giorgia Meloni, a Trump ally, said the decision was wrong, but that she would work towards a deal with the U.S. to prevent a trade war. Her Spanish counterpart Pedro Sánchez said Spain would continue to be committed to an open world, while in England, Taoiseach Michael Martin said Trump's decision was deeply regrettable and benefited no one. In France, President Emmanuel Macron will meet representatives from business sectors hit by the new taxes at the Élysée Palace on Thursday, the French presidency said. Outside the EU, China, one of the countries deemed the worst offenders by the US president, was hit with a 34% tariff on goods on top of an existing 20% levy, bringing total duties to at least 54%. South Korean acting President Han Duck-soo said the global trade war has become a reality, and his government would be looking at ways to overcome the trade crisis after the East Asian country was hit with a 25% rate. Japan said its 24% levy was extremely regrettable and could violate World Trade Organization and US-Japan agreements, while Thailand said it would negotiate its 36% tariff. Economic officials in Israel, which had scraped all tariffs on American import ahead of the announcement, were said to be in complete shock over its 17% tariff, local media reported. White House officials said its levies were reciprocal to countries such as China, which it said charged higher tariffs on U.S. goods, imposed non-tariff barriers to U.S. trade, or have otherwise acted in ways the government feels undermine American economic goals. Leaders from countries subject to the 10% baseline rate have also reacted to Trump's measures, with Australia's Anthony Albanese saying Americans would end up paying the biggest price for what he called unjustified tariffs. On Thursday morning, UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer reiterated that he would fight to secure a trade deal with the US to soften the blow of tariffs as the world enters a new era. Noticeably, the US's two biggest trade partners, Canada and Mexico, were not mentioned in Wednesday's announcements. Israeli attacks have killed at least 62 in Gaza today, including 37 in Gaza City. At least 23 Palestinians have been killed in a flurry of Israeli attacks on Khan Yunis this morning, with strikes hitting a displacement camp that Israel has designated as a humanitarian zone and several homes. Israel's military has confirmed carrying out new attacks on Syria's Damascus, Hama and Homs governorates. Local authorities said 9 people were killed. Gaza's health ministry says at least 50,423 Palestinians are confirmed dead and 114,638 wounded in Israel's war on Gaza. The government media officially updated its death toll to more than 61,700, saying thousands of people missing under the rubble are presumed dead. The Lok Sabha passed the contentious Waqf bill early on Thursday, following a 12-hour debate with an intense discussion where the ruling NDA defended the legislation as beneficial for minorities. At the same time, the opposition termed the bill as anti-Muslim, which will be now put to test in Rajya Sabha later in the day. Waqf Amendment Bill 2025 was passed after all amendments moved by the opposition legislators were rejected by voice votes. The bill was passed after a division of votes with 288 in favor and 232 against. Replying to the debate in the House, Union Minority Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju claimed there is no place safer than India for minorities, adding they are safe because the majority is entirely secular. Rijiju further said that through this bill, the NDA-led centre is going to unify all minorities in the country. The opposition stood united opposing the bill, with Lok Sabha Deputy Leader and Congress MP Gaurav Gogoi saying the India bloc will oppose the proposed changes to the legislation. Claiming that the bill was an attack on the basic structure of constitution, he accused the government of misleading parliament. Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav claimed that the bill was a ploy for polarization following its performance in the 2024 Lok Sabha polls. Taking part in the debate, aiming chief Asaduddin Waisi staged a symbolic protest by tearing a copy of the bill. Leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi termed the bill a weapon aimed at marginalizing Muslims and usurping their personal laws and property rights. Now we're moving on to a break.
পানির অপর নাম জীবন। আমাদের দেশে কৃষিতে, বিশেষ করে ধান চাষে, শিল্প কলকারখানায়, গৃহস্থালী সহ নানান কাজে পানির সুষ্ঠু ব্যবহারের অভাবে আমরা প্রচুর পানি অপচয় করে থাকি। ভূগর্ভস্থ পানির এরকম ব্যবহারের ফলে আমাদের পানির স্তর ক্রমান্বয়ে নিচে নেমে যাচ্ছে। পানি আমাদের অর্থনৈতিক, সামাজিক বাস্তুতান্ত্রিক এবং পরিবেশগত সকল ক্ষেত্রে বিশেষ অবদান রাখছে। তাই আসুন আমরা পানি ব্যবহারে সচেতন হই।
Now news on weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said weather may remain dry with temporary partly cloudy sky over the country. Mild to moderate heat wave is sweeping over the districts of Dhaka, Tangail, Faridpur, Manikganj, Rajshahi, Pabna, Sirajganj, Dinajpur, Lindfamari, Rangamati, Feni, Lokhipur, Joshore and Chuadanga, and it may continue. Night temperature may rise slightly and day temperature may remain nearly unchanged over the country. Country's highest temperature was recorded today at Baghabari of Sirajganj at 38.2 degrees Celsius and capital Dhaka's highest temperature was 36.6 degrees Celsius. Moving on to news on sports. Barcelona beat at leg of the Copa del Rey semi-finals to set an El Clasico final against arch rivals Real Madrid. After a 4-4 draw in the first leg, the solitary goal win saw Barcelona reach the final on 5-4 aggregate. Ferran Torres scored a first-half winner, helping Barcelona to reach its first Copa del Rey final in 4 seasons. The April 26th final in Seville will mark the third Clásico of the season. Bangladesh women's cricket team flew to Pakistan to play the ICC Women's One-Day World Cup qualifiers today. The 6-team World Cup qualifying round will start at Lahore on April 9th. Thailand, Ireland, Scotland, West Indies, Bangladesh and host Pakistan are participating in the qualifying round. The tournament will be held in a round-robin format. The top 2 teams of the points table will qualify for the Women's World Cup to be held in India in October next. Hosts India, Australia, England, New Zealand, South Africa and Sri Lanka are playing directly in the main stage. Bangladesh. Now to end the bulletin, headlines once again. Young people should be entrepreneur, not job seeker. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus at BIMSTEC Young Generation Forum. Changing system will act as catalyst to change the world. Thai Prime Minister hosts dinner for visiting heads of state and prime ministers. Chief Advisor exchanged greetings with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and other leaders. City dwellers start returning to capital after celebrating Eid with Keith and Keen. Some are leaving Dhaka even today. Festive vibe persists in the capital on the 4th day of Eid, people exploring different types of entertainment. Law enforcers and administration in Chittagong Hill Tracts given strict orders to curb extortion and terrorism, says Home Advisor. US President Donald Trump imposes new tariff on different products from 100 countries, including Bangladesh. World leaders react sharply over this unfair step. Indian Lok Sabha passes controversial Waqf bill on Muslim properties. And Barcelona beat Atletico Madrid to set up El Clasico final on Copa del Rey. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us. I invite you to watch our Bangla news next midnight. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.